But my hypothesis is that in order to be evil, you need to know what evil is. You need to experience the difference between right and wrong. You need to know what evil is. You need to know what right is. You need to experience that at an emotional level and deliberately choose evil. I don't think psychopaths are capable of doing that.
Alrighty, what up, you guys? I'm Bryson Smith.
And I'm Javin.
And this is
Etcetera.
Oh, shit. I messed up. Hold up.
Etcetera. Okay, so big news, guys. Big news. We are, yeah, it's right there. And we're changing our name. We're not changing our brand. We're the same podcast.
Yeah.
We realized that while we produce content that I think is probably better than what's out there in terms of who else is named, who cares.
But the YouTube algorithm just doesn't.
Yeah. Why start off with a handicap? It's not reasonable, and what, for the sake of just a name that we think is cool, that's not fair. So we decided we were going to go a different direction with it. We were going to call it Etcetera, because Etcetera just means the thing that's tacked on the end of the list. That thing where you just go on and on, the topics that just kind of are towards the end, just etc., just out there.
Right. So now we're Etcetera Podcast.
Now we're Etcetera Podcast. I like it. He likes it. I want to explain it a little more as we progress, but, well, now you know. We're here.
Alrighty, well, now that we've got that right out the way, now that we're the Etcetera Podcast, today we're going to be talking about serial killers.
Serial killers. And one in particular just as a template, but serial killers in general.
Right.
Our guest is a good friend of ours.
Isn't he cute?
Ralph. He's pretty chill. I like him.
He doesn't say much. That's what I like about him.
Well, he's a listener is what he is.
Kind of like me. I'm a listener.
That's true.
I don't know if you guys kind of realized the dynamic of us on this podcast, but that guy over there just pretty much talks and I put in my 2 cents.
And now we've got another one. He's going to be with us but no, he's not. Sorry, Ralph. But he's got a lot to think about when it comes to serial killers. What we're discussing today is, are serial killers in particular, well, let me just say it. Is Ted Bundy really evil? Is he really an actual evil person? So I doubt you don't, but if you don't know who Ted Bundy is, he was a notorious serial killer in the 1970s.
Yeah, 70s and maybe even some of the 60s.
Yeah, he killed a lot of women. I don't actually...
Young women.
Young women, brown hair.
Yeah.
And
he had a fetish, clearly.
Yeah, he was a character. He killed them. He raped them, dismembered them. Yeah. We should probably put a trigger warning at the beginning of this.
Maybe.
A lot of... Rape generally is triggering. But where we're discussing isn't what he did, and we're not even going to discuss whether what he did was
wrong or
bad.
not.
Yeah, it was wrong. What he did was wrong. There's no dispute. But we're arguing whether he as a person was evil. Is he a person?
He's arguing that.
Okay.
I'm saying he's evil.
Under the bus, out the
this
gate.
guy is...
Bam.
If you rape women or rape anyone at that, you're evil. Come on now. Why are you raping people?
The action is evil. Okay, so raping people is a bad thing. And if you do it, it makes you
evil.
A bad person. It makes you a bad person. Does it make you irredeemable? We're not here to discuss that. Does it make you evil for all time? We are incapable of determining that at this juncture.
I mean, you can always change, but I mean, like, you're always going to have that stigma when you rape someone.
That's true. But we're not discussing stigma. We're discussing inherent evil. See, Ted Bundy is different from a lot of people. He's different in one particular way. Not that he was a serial killer, but that he was probably a psychopath. Psychopaths are born. They're not made. Now, not all psychopaths kill.
Are you defending Ted Bundy?
I am explicitly not defending Ted Bundy.
That's what it sounds like.
But he is a mentally ill. Like, it's indisputable that he was mentally ill.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, but just because someone's mentally ill, it doesn't
excuse it.
It doesn't excuse it. The act that this person did, it's still evil.
His mental illness was specific, though. Psychopathy, psychopath. Do you know what a psychopath is?
Let's hear it.
Psychopath is somebody with a brain disorder who that renders them incapable of empathy, knowing the difference between right and wrong, and just generally regarding other individuals as human beings. They're incapable. It's not that they choose to, it's that they were never born with that ability. Now, there are some studies that show that psychopaths might be able to turn on empathy, but only for limited periods of time and never to the end of actually helping individuals. Psychopaths are pervasive in our society, not in that there are a lot of them, but they generally lead to successful CEOs. A lot of CEOs and politicians are psychopaths. Washington, D.C. has the highest concentration of psychopaths in the world.
But are you saying
the United States?
But
anyway.
with all that being said, so you're excusing his acts then? Like you're saying because he doesn't know what he was doing, that it's I mean, it's not okay, but because he doesn't know what he was doing, it's not evil.
I'm gonna differentiate action from intent. So, what were his intents?
To kill people,
to kill people, and to rape people, though.
Women, specifically young women.
Did he genuinely consider? We crush ants all the time. We kill bugs.
Not me.
We have
you do that.
We have
Stop
fly.
it,
I'll kill you, Bryson. I'm a psycho. No, I'm not.
Oh no,
never. But they are incapable of seeing people as people. We see people as people because our brains were designed.
Yeah, but
to
that
do
doesn't
that.
make them not evil.
Their actions are definitely evil, but does that make them evil? They have a brain disorder. They are incapable. Now, not every psychopath kills. In fact, most of them don't.
Someone raped and killed my sister. That person is evil.
Relative to your perspective. And in fact, that might be useful for you to feel and think. And I'm not even saying that's wrong. What I'm saying, though, is if you're considering something relatively
You're separating
evil,
the act from the person.
I am. Because you have to. Like
that means you could always defend anyone.
No, that's not true. He deserved the sentence he got. He should have been put down. But the reason why I think is different from how most people think. I think he should have been put down because he was a dysfunctional human being. He was incapable of being. He had what's considered antisocial personality disorder, and yet there's a quagmire of controversies surrounding psychopathy's diagnosis and antisocial personality disorder. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to talk about specifically if somebody has this mental disorder, are they evil?
Well, I think they are. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Why?
Yes, it's a mental disorder, but still, if you're doing something wrong, like that, the act itself is evil to me. What I was gonna say is, you mentioned before we started this episode this theory of yours, and I want to hear it because I haven't heard it, and none of the audience has heard it too. So we want to hear this theory.
Okay.
It was about serial killers, right?
It's more, serial killers and just the nature of evil itself.
All right, let's hear it.
This is a hype.
I'm excited to hear about one of Javin's theories because he has a lot of crazy theories.
But do you want to hear it, Ralph?
Ralph wants to hear it. Ralph is chilling.
Yeah, he's right. You're right. Okay, hypothesis, not a theory per se. I don't have a large body of evidence to support it. But my hypothesis is that in order to be evil, you need to know what evil is. You need to experience the difference between right and wrong. You need to know what evil is. You need to know what right is. You need to experience that on an emotional level and deliberately choose evil. I don't think psychopaths are capable of doing that. I think they're incapable of doing that.
So they don't know the difference between right or wrong?
They don't. They can be told, but they don't actually experience the difference between right and wrong. They can't. Their brains are just broken. They can't think that way from birth. Sociopaths are different. No, from birth.
Really?
Yeah, psychopaths, it's a combination of things. It's a genetic factor, so you have to be genetically predisposed. And then there's a brain chemistry that you need, a specific brain chemistry that needs to germinate in the womb and you need to find a specific set of scenarios in order to create a psychopath, but they are born that way.
I want to say that I'm like, they got to know the difference between right and wrong. I mean, how can you go through life not knowing that? I know that they know what they're doing is wrong. They just don't care. That's what I think.
They know
the difference between right and wrong.
Society considers what they do is wrong.
But they don't care.
But they're incapable of caring.
I wouldn't say that.
But it's a fact.
I wouldn't say that.
I'm sorry.
I feel like no one would really know except the person themselves.
Sure, but okay. We also do know, though, that kids are incapable of moral thinking.
Okay. Right.
Because their brains aren't developed.
But we're talking about a grown-ass person, though.
But Ted Bundy intellectually was a grown man, but
Right.
emotionally infantile, impotent. He, not impotent sexually, but he literally wasn't developed like that. That part of his brain never got to grow. He never got.
What was his childhood like? Because I
Actually-
don't know. I know of Ted Bundy just as much as you guys probably know. Maybe a little bit more. Not as much as he does though. But I like as far as his emotions were like.
I met the man. No, I'm kidding.
Stop.
Personal friend of mine. No, I'm kidding.
You're that old?
No. He had a remarkably average. He's actually kind of weird for serial killers because he had a pretty average childhood.
See,
He
even
had a
hearing
few
that,
weird
I
things.
cannot believe that he wasn't stable enough emotionally. I'm like, dude, if you had the average, typical upbringing of some white guy in a suburban neighborhood,
Yeah,
come on now.
But like average white people do genocide. Like,
Yeah, true, but they know what they're doing is wrong. That's the argument.
I
I
don't
really
even-
feel like he knows what he was doing is wrong. He just didn't care.
I don't even disagree with you in the sense that most people do. Most people do know the difference between right and wrong, but serial killers don't. That's what I'm saying.
I feel like they do.
Psychopath-
They don't care.
They can't. It doesn't. Okay. A lion, right? Does a lion consider what's right and wrong when he kills an antelope? No, he doesn't give a fuck.
That's a freaking line.
Yeah, and that's my point. He was designed that way. So a
You're
serial
comparing
killer.
Ted Bundy to a lion.
I'm comparing Ted Bundy to an animal, and he was an animal, in my opinion. He wasn't a
that.
person. He wasn't a full human being. He wasn't incapable of introspection. He wasn't capable of empathy. He wasn't capable of anything that would render somebody capable of knowing the difference. I'm saying capable so
That's
much.
very pessimistic of you.
Pessimistic.
Yeah.
Pessimistic. Yes, that's
Pessimistic.
true. But I think evil requires knowledge of good and evil. I think you have to know the difference. Now, I'm not talking
That's
about
what I'm
evil
saying, though. He
actions.
knows.
He doesn't
He knew the. Listen to what you just said, Jab.
He doesn't know.
He knew the difference. He didn't care.
He didn't. How could you? You have to know the consequences of your actions in order. He didn't think about the consequences of his actions. He was incapable of thinking about the consequences of his actions.
Okay, well, we'll have to agree to disagree.
You're disagreeing with a large body of evidence. Now, psychopaths, we don't know if
I can
he
do
was
that.
a
I can
pure
disagree with-
psychopath. You can't. Okay,
Yeah,
you're
I
right.
can
I'm not
disagree.
saying you're wrong in that. But okay, let's get down to it further because we're kind of just we're at a standstill right now. Do you think that if you don't understand the consequences of your actions, you're capable of taking full responsibility for that action? Do you think that's fair?
Capable of taking. I mean, yeah, I would say yes.
You think so? How's that fair?
I mean,
You step on a butterfly, it causes a hurricane, and you're like, yep, that's my bad, guys. Whoops.
when you're killing people though, that's like so like.
Yeah, for sure. But
Bro.
we see the consequences of it. It's like a kid, like
I just truly think that he doesn't. These people do not care.
a kid knows bullying another kid is wrong, but they don't actually understand the severity of their actions.
Right, until it's taught to them. Yeah.
And that's some people are incapable of being taught. Like, for example, some people can't do math. And I'm not talking about never learn to do math. Can't. Physically incapable. Some people can't speak.
Maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Maybe you're right. Then again, maybe you're wrong. No, you make a good point though. I can't lie, you make a really good point.
Let me defer then to you. Do you think the severity of the action?
Okay, I want to say I
matters?
hear what you're saying and it makes sense, but for me, I have a hard time. I have a hard time just not like if someone's a grown ass person and they're killing people. Like I have a hard time. Like how could they not know the difference between right or wrong? I just have a hard time grasping that.
Okay. Well,
I feel like he had to have known. All these serial killers know. They just don't care. Like they know that if they murder someone, rape someone.
you're not even wrong. Like they do know to some extent, but they know what they've been told. Like they go through the motions. They don't actually they don't hold beliefs. They
have no morals.
They have no morals.
Yeah,
They're
they have no
incapable
morals.
of it. I'm talking pure psychopaths. Ted Bundy is considered.
I'm
a
pretty sure
pure
there's been
psychopath.
serial killers out there who, for whatever reason, decided to not become serial killers.
You say
maybe once become a Christian or whatever faith keeps them together, but it might not be brought to the masses, and if it is, you guys should let us know. But what I'm saying is I'm pretty sure you could be someone who's like extremely evil, and then for whatever reason you have this like divine encounter, now you want to be good or whatever. So that would by me saying that is like saying like, yes, they know right from wrong, they know better.
I have to argue that you're thinking about this like a rational human being. A human being is capable of looking inside themselves and saying,
you don't think someone could just have some sort of life-changing moment and not ever want to kill or rape someone again?
Yeah, for sure. I think that's totally possible.
That's what I'm saying.
Possible for a pure psychopath? Never.
You don't think so?
Never.
I see. I'm being optimistic. He's being pessimistic.
I am.
I think that someone could change.
I think there are very few pure psychopaths out there. I think
pure psychopaths. So
pure,
not just psychopaths, a pure psychopath now.
Yeah. This is speculative, like for sure. Like we're not experts.
I'm not.
I cannot stress that enough.
Right?
We are not experts in any sense. But what I do think is that when you consider another human being, you either assume they're the same as you or they're different from you. And if you assume they're the same, then their actions make some kind of sense. Like Ted Bundy. If he's the same as me, then he knows the difference between right and wrong. He just did it because he wanted to. But if you consider that he's different from you because of some, like kids are so different from you.
Right. I propose a question.
Go for it.
So what do you think the dynamic of a friendship would be of like a Ted Bundy with another person just as equally as crazy as he is? What does that look like?
Impossible. Ted Bundy, psychopath.
A pure psychopath.
Have you ever had a go for it?
With friends with another pure psychopath? What does that dynamic look like?
Psychopaths have antisocial personality disorder, which means that their desire to socialize is non-existent unless it's to gain some benefit.
Can't we say like a negative and a negative make a positive?
I've never seen it. Well, okay. So there is a case, I forget the names. I'm sure there are some like serial killer fanatics out there who could be like, I know who you're talking about. I know who everything. So there was two serial killers that did for a while work in tandem with each other.
Really?
Yes.
What was that like?
Crazy. They went on a killing spree. There was also another serial killer who got these boys to find other boys for him to kill. And eventually it got to the point where these boys he hired to do this started killing with him. And they started collaboratively doing it. And in fact, it's a crazy story that one of the boys he hired eventually was the guy who killed him.
Wow.
Shot him to death out of self-defense, but still crazy scenario. So it was legitimately a wild. So it's not impossible.
I was going to say, so it's possible for two crazy people to be cohesive with each other.
But Ted Bundy liked his killings to be personal. He never talked about it. He would never even admit to it. He could only ever talk about the killings in an indirect way, as if it wasn't him doing it. So he would never share that experience with anyone. More than that, he was so desperate to maintain his persona to the public that he could never admit that to himself. Serial killers don't introspect. They don't think about themselves like that. We do, to strive for self-improvement and stuff like that. They don't.
I don't think they really care to.
How could they?
Yeah,
they don't have that. They don't. Their brains don't work like that. But that brings us back to our question. It's like, we know they're broken. We know they're weird or whatever. But are they evil?
See, I'm saying they are.
Okay, just elaborate on that. Do you think
I already have? I think they're evil. Like I'm not. It's not deep for me. It's not deep for me at all. If you like killing and raping women, people in general, that's evil. I'm not going to be like, that's not evil. He has a mental illness. We can defend, like, nah, fuck that.
The actions alone render evil versus not. So you even if I'm a psychopath. And
if you're doing this consistently, willingly, this isn't an accident, you're evil. Now, I can understand if you accidentally kill someone, like, that sucks. You're not evil. You made a mistake. It's something that can't be taken back. But if you're consciously acting out on killing people and raping people, that's evil.
That's an evil action. I don't know if that makes you. For example,
no, this person is evil.
Okay.
You're just killing for fun?
Let me propose a counter question.
You're killing for fun? You're going to defend this, Javin?
If you do good things, right? but you're only doing it because society told you to do those good things. You're just doing it reflexively, but you do very good things. Are you a good person? Whatever. Ignore that.
You're a good person on what's the word I'm looking for? Like face value, like on front. You're putting on a front.
But
now on the inside, you might not be. On the inside, you might not be the best person, but on the outside, you're a cool ass person.
What if there is no inside? What if it's hollow in there? There's nothing there. It's just the actions. Like
Then you are presumably evil.
What? They do good things and they're still evil?
No. Wait, are we still talking about?
We're still talking about the good. Yeah.
Oh, then this person is putting on a front as if they're good, but okay, what are they doing that's evil then? Exactly. Like if you're gonna say that, what are they doing that's evil? We're looking at actions here.
No. Yeah, so you're saying a person should be measured by their actions, not their intent.
Isn't that like kind of like what Martin Luther King said about a person should be measured by their character and their actions? That's what you do. So if we're looking at it from that perspective, these people are evil.
Unless you're mentally ill. Mentally ill people can't be measured by that metric because if they were, that's not fair.
So you're saying,
you're schizophrenic.
So only if it's a mental issue.
Does that rule change?
What if you're not mentally ill? You just like killing people. Isn't that what?
That is an evil person. That where you do know the difference.
I feel like these people know the difference though. Ted Bundy knows the difference. That's what I'm saying.
He doesn't.
Like, how can you not know the difference?
He knows what society tells him is right and wrong, and he goes by those rules. But that doesn't mean he personally, on an emotional level,
right? If society is saying this is wrong, then
but
probably there's a freaking bee right here. Anyways, yeah,
these fly traps better work. I'm gonna kill these flies. But at the same level, if somebody's just doing good things because society told them that was good, does that actually make them good? And you said on face value, sure, but inside, who knows?
But you can't. I mean, we wouldn't know that. We wouldn't know.
So you're saying
that's that person's thing. We can only judge someone based off their actions. Mm-hmm. That's all we could do.
I have to disagree.
Like you could be a crazy ass person that I've never known on the inside.
True, but I don't know. I think we could, like a schizophrenic person.
I had a friend.
Oh, go for it.
My friend, the one I always tell you about. I'm not going to say his name, but I feel like he could be that. Like he could be this. Yeah, like he was this cool dude I used to hang out with, but he always would say little things that would just kind of make me think like.
He might be.
Like I was telling you, like there's this one time, it was me, him, and my friend. We were sitting down playing Naruto, the Storm game, and he said that if life, and he said this casually, so if life doesn't go as planned, I just want to kill someone just to experience what that feels like. And I remember just looking at him like, why the hell am I hanging around this guy? But he was so serious, and I remember he like bit his apple, and I was like, he was just like saying that. I was like, wow. But he would say, yeah, definitely. He would say things like that, and would just like. I would just make me feel weird. And then he stopped being friends with me. And even till this day, I still think, because I know he knows where I live, I'm like, what if he decides to just come to my house and just shoot me and my family?
Well, this
guy knows the difference between right and wrong, by the way.
Well, there's an interesting thing between PTSD and psychopathy. They're not the same, but they often show superficial like he probably went through some shit, right?
Well, yeah, he had his parents, the ones that raised him, definitely. He was like honestly. I mean, I don't have kids, but just from what I've seen, you know, being in my household and a bunch of other friends' household, I feel like they did not raise him the right way. Mm-hmm. That's what I think, just outside looking at.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
He had it. I'm just gonna say that.
No, yeah.
His upbringing was different.
See, PTSD, I'm not talking about like military PTSD. That's a different thing. Mm-hmm. But like if you're raised in a traumatic environment, different people handle trauma a different way. Mm-hmm. And if you handle it a specific kind of way, you'll probably have PTSD. And that can make you seem kind of psychotic, like as if you're a psychopath. But in reality, you're just hurting and you're lashing out.
I feel like he probably falls under that umbrella.
Yeah.
But it still makes you feel weird enough to like, yo, this
for
guy
sure.
might actually,
the crazy thing is, if that happened early on in his development, that could I'm not gonna say probably, that could potentially turn into sociopathy, which is he could turn into a sociopath, where it's pretty much, yeah.
I'll say this: if that did happen, and I seen him on the news years down the road, I would not be surprised. And this was a close friend of mine. So like I would be like, yeah, that sounds that it's adding up. It's adding up.
That's about right.
So I'll say that about him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hard.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks. He was a really cool dude, but
dude. So I guess what I'm saying to kind of wrap this up, I kind of want to propose a question. If somebody genuinely believes what they're doing is right, they believe 100% what they're doing is correct, they believe in this,
we're listening,
and they're crazy, and they shoot up a school because they believe God told them to, are they evil?
Yes.
No.
You know how many bad things have been done in the name of God? We know. I mean, first off, why would God ever tell you to kill?
They're crazy. They don't know.
Like, come on now.
There's no logic there.
Bruh. Are you kidding me?
Okay, fine.
He's going to kill a whole bunch of innocent kids and try to no, that's evil.
The action is evil, but the man himself can't understand.
If you're saying if he truly believes God is telling him that.
He's crazy. He's schizophrenic.
Confused.
Well,
He
does
must be
confused make you evil?
If we're basing it off the act, then yes.
Wow. Because
we have to. Like, come on now. Like, if a confused person killed one of your best friends, your sister, like, are you just gonna be like, this person isn't evil?
That would have been an evil action, and I would be furious. And I even would go as far as to say that person should be put down. Would I go as far as to say they're evil? I can't know that.
Okay, Javin.
I'm just okay. Tell us what you think. We are very clearly disagreeing strongly on this one. What do you guys think? Is Ted Bundy
truly evil? That's the question of the day.
On the inside, is he actually genuinely, internally, all the way through evil, or is he just an animal who
same difference?
Never. It's
same difference.
Is he just a person who was broken and never learned the difference and did a lot of terrible, evil things? It's a minor difference, but it's an important one to me. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you think my definition of evil is garbage, because I genuinely want to know.
All right.
And tell us if Bryson is just on my case today.
Is Ted Bundy truly evil?
Tell us.
Later, you guys.